Hey guys, it's Failz here for Divine Insanity. This is a review, this is my initial thoughts on the game Guild Wars 2, of which the open beta was last week. This game is an MMORPG, and it's a very revolutionary MMORPG in both its combat style, in its classes, in its leveling style, even its PvP. I'll get to those elements later, but I'll start off with the combat style. Now, as you can see in this, the combat is very kinetic. It's very very position based. It's very movable. It's really enjoyable. You have the first 5 skills are dependent on your weapon loadout. I'm an engineer, so instead of having weapon loadouts, I have utilities that can change my weapon loadouts, like a weapons kit or a flamethrower, which is very enjoyable. The first 5 skills are dependent on your weapon loadout, and the rest of your skills are healing skills, because there's no dedicated healer in the game. So that's number 6, 7, 8, and 9. They are utility skills. For me, that'll be like elixirs and things like flamethrowers, weapon kits, even turrets that engineers can use. And 0 is bound to your elite skill slot. Elites are just very powerful skills that people can unlock. There is also the dynamic event system, which makes this game extremely unique. I think that I don't really have time, considering only the amount of footage that I have is quite limited, to explain the dynamic event system fully, but people like Total Biscuit and the Yogscast have done a very good job of explaining what the dynamic event system is and how it works and how it makes questing so much fun, and it makes questing feel alive, and it makes questing feel cooperative with your fellow players. Trust me, even if you don't know what it is and you go to find out what it is highly enjoyable. There hasn't been a game where I actually have enjoyed the questing system before, and this is really fun. Enjoyed the leveling system, I should say. Now, another thing I can talk about is the PvP, and we'll have some footage coming up of that soon. I didn't get a huge amount of footage of the world versus world part of PvP, and that's because, as you can see, my frame rate is dropping out even in these little 1v1 fights. World versus world is basically it's 4 maps, and each team, there's going to be 3 servers battling out. Each team, the green team, the red team, and the blue team, I'm pretty sure they're the teams, I didn't do a huge amount of world versus world, own 3 of those maps, respectively. And there's also the Eternal Battleground, which is a continually contested area. Now, as we were, the way the servers were set up when for me during the weekend, I was on a server that was constantly underplayed, underpopulated compared to the other servers. We got romped on so very much. We just did not have the amount of players that the red and the blue team had. We were the green team, so basically we lost the whole time, which is another reason why I didn't have a huge amount of footage. Mainly it was because of the frame per second problem, which was a huge problem, because the game wasn't optimized for the GPU. It's very CPU bound. I don't have the greatest CPU. Also, there's just so many players, it puts a huge amount of stress on a machine. But yeah, what you're looking at right now is world versus world footage. As you can see, I'm in the Eternal Battleground at the moment, and I'm running over to a contested area, and that's going to be the fort you can see down the bottom right of the screen. Now, we were trying, well, I don't know if that was actually contested, but that's where there were huge fights at the time. Now, my video ends right as I get to a huge fight, because the frames per second drop so much that I wouldn't be able to get any good footage, any decent footage at all of that. So I have to apologize for that. But as I said, people like Yogscast and Mike B have some incredible footage of World vs. World, and yeah, you can go check that out. Well, they have better computers than me, and they were in the press release, which means that they have footage of less stressed servers. Now, as you can see, that Dolyak just pretty much disappeared. I was going to help carry it around. That's the good thing about World vs. World. You're not locked to just fighting. You can just go do little other events that help out your world, but that just disappeared because beta is beta. Yeah, I'm just going to run in here, and my frames per second is going to drop, as you can see, to about 10, and it just drops to 5 after that, and it's just not worth it. Now, this is my Thief. This is probably the class I enjoyed the most as far as combat goes. It was really enjoyable, and this is the organized PvP. This is the 5v5 small arena capped point King of the Hill style play PvP. I really enjoyed this. I spent a lot of time doing this because I probably would have spent a lot of time doing World vs. World had it been more fair and less framey, but the fact was that it was, and that made it difficult to enjoy properly. But this PvP style I really like. It reminds me a lot of the PvP style of games like TF2. And I really enjoy that, the small arena capture point King of the Hill style play. I really did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. And as you can see right now, I'm versing a Guardian. Guardians, they're like the paladins, even though they're not really truly paladins of Guild Wars 2, just because there's no healing classes, there's no tanking classes, but these are annoying to verse because they can, as you can see, we're doing a pretty good damage output, but then they just decide to put up walls and they put up their shields. We should by rights kill them right now, but they manage to escape, and yeah, heal up, and they put a wall there, and it just makes things annoying. So runs down here, puts up the impenetrable bubble. So yeah, but yeah, this play style I really enjoyed. It really highlights the really enjoyable, the really genuinely enjoyable style of the gameplay. Yeah, the gameplay was so enjoyable. Just the combat, the way it works, how position based it is, how skill based it is. All of the classes, in my opinion, are very easy to play, but very hard to master. And of course, I couldn't master it in the 72 hours I had the game, so I didn't. But luckily, very few other people did. You ran into the odd person who had obviously been in other betas, other closed betas, and they were just so much better than us, and they just completely romped on us and won any game they were part of, because once you see a bastard player, it's very evident. As you can see, that my FPS was so amazing here that I decided to go do a very good job of owning the timber logs holding up that boardwalk. So yes, that was it just showed the slightly framey style of the beta, but you know, beta's beta, and I don't expect it would be like that on release. As you can see right here, we are actually very much winning. We're on 191, I think, and they're on about 21. So we've pretty much won this. I may be wrong because as I'm doing the commentary for this, I've reduced the resolution on the video so I can actually do the commentary while seeing a smooth video. So but yeah, we are pretty much going to win this. So yeah, the game, my final impressions, it's very impressive. There's some bits I'm worried about, like they're losing the Holy Trinity, wondering how that's going to affect dungeons, but I'm sure, considering that they've made the rest of the game so flawless and so amazing, that won't be a huge effect on it. I really have a lot of faith in ArenaNet. I'm really impressed with the work they did for this beta week end event.